I didn't think much of it, really. The gift was small, insignificant, even. A simple earth trinket tucked into my utility belt from the early days of the war. I'd nearly forgotten it was there until I was cleaning my gear, waiting for the next diplomatic meeting on the crystalline world of Elmira. It was a smooth stone, perfectly round, polished, and painted with a tiny blue flower on one side. My little sister had given it to me before I shipped out. "So you don't forget beauty," she had said, pressing it into my hand. I hadn't looked at it in over 3 years. But now I stood outside the ceremonial chamber, clutching the gift like it had grown heavier. On the other side of those doors was Princess Kilira of Elmira, heir to the throne of winds. And if there was one thing no one could stop talking about, it was her, tall, radiant, with translucent skin that shimmered like starlight and hair that moved like liquid silver. Kilira was everything you'd expect an alien royal to be: regal, elegant, impossibly distant, and completely alone. She'd lost a mother in the Second Orbit War. Her people had barely survived the famine that followed. Now they were choosing peace, and Kilira was the face of it. I was just a human liaison, no one important. But maybe that was why I dared to bring her something so small. The chamber doors opened with a whisper. I stepped inside. Kilira sat atop a floating platform carved from crystal and shaped like a flower in bloom. Her bodyguard, a 6-armed silent wraith named Lore, nodded once and stepped back. She wore no crown, only a thin circlet of woven light that pulsed with her heartbeat. She smiled politely, but her eyes looked tired. "You return, human Eli," she said. Her voice echoed softly, like bells underwater. I bowed. "Yes, Princess. I brought something." Her expression didn't change. "For me? Yes. I hope that's not against protocol." She blinked slowly. "You are not of this court. Your rules are not ours. Show me." I stepped forward and carefully held out the little stone. She looked at it, puzzled. "A rock." "A painted stone," I said quickly, then caught myself. "Sorry, that sounded defensive. It's something we do back on Earth. Children sometimes paint small stones and give them to people they care about." She reached out and delicately took it from my palm. Her fingers brushed against mine. "Cool," soft like silken water. She studied the painted flower. "It is not valuable," she said. "No," I agreed, but it meant something to someone I loved. Her eyes flicked up, suddenly alert. "You gave me something sacred?" "Not sacred," I said, "just meaningful. It reminded me of beauty, of softness. I thought maybe you needed a little of that." Kilira stared at the stone. For a long time, she said nothing. Then she whispered something in her native tongue, a musical phrase that seemed to vibrate the room, and placed the stone gently over her heart. I blinked. "What does that mean?" Her eyes glistened. "That is how Elmirans accept soul offerings." I didn't mean it that way. I just thought." She stood suddenly. "You do not understand what you've done." Panic flared in me. "I swear I meant no offense." "Offense," she said. "Eli, you're giving me honor. No one has given me anything without politics, without fear, without expectation." I stared. She stepped closer, holding the stone like it was made of stars. "My people believe in resonance," she continued, "that the smallest things can carry the strongest emotions. This gift, it's more than stone. It is you, your past, your memory, your sister's love. You gave that freely to me." Her eyes locked with mine. "Why?" I hesitated, then said softly, "Because you look like someone who hasn't been given something simple in a very long time." Her breath hitched. The circlet on her head pulsed brighter. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. "I'm not used to being seen." "I see you," I said. not the princess. Just you. And then it happened. Kilira stepped forward and placed her hand on my chest, right above my heart. The crystal floor beneath us rippled with light. The air thickened, charged with unseen energy. She whispered, "Do I have permission to share resonance?" I wasn't sure what that meant, but I nodded anyway. She leaned in, forehead brushing mine, and suddenly I felt her loneliness, her buried anger, her unspoken grief. I saw a flash of a broken garden where she used to play with her mother. I saw her crying alone in a throne room built for too many people. I saw her hiding her fear behind perfect posture and flawless smiles. And then she felt me. The battlefield, the burning ship, my sister's stone in my pocket as I crawled through smoke and blood and pain. The ache of survival. We both gasped. She stepped back. Her face was wet with tears. "I didn't know humans could hold so much," she whispered. "I didn't know Elmerans could feel so much," I replied. And then she smiled, not the practiced diplomatic curve of her lips, but a genuine, radiant smile that lit up the whole chamber. "I will keep this forever," she said, holding up the stone. "When I become queen, it will remain in my crown vault, and I will tell my people it came from the only soul who gave freely." I opened my mouth but had no words. She leaned close again. "I will never forget this, Eli. And if you ever return to Elmira, the gates will open for you." Then she did something no Elmeran royalty had done in over a century. She embraced me. It wasn't a kiss. It wasn't passion. It was something deeper, recognition, gratitude, and trust. And all I had given her was a painted stone.